Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. I'm doing the 30 question tag, and I was tagged by Skittle Cat Spiritual. I don't know what it is, girl. I have a hard time saying that name. Okay, so shout out to Ashley Adulting and the Island Alien who started this tag. I saw it a while ago and I just totally forgot to do it. So I'm sorry. I'm doing it now because Skittle Cat Spiritual reminded me and tagged me last night. I just got to share last night. My daughter and I picked up these cute little, they're flowers. Can you see? Aren't they cute? Yeah. I like things like that. Okay, guys, let's get started because this is going to be really long. But of course, you know, I like long videos. I didn't mind your video at all, Brittany. It was actually kind of shorter than I thought because everyone else's videos turned out to be like an hour, right? Or something like that. Oh, I was just sitting there sewing away, just sewing on my little dolls. I can't wait until I get that up and going. I'm so excited. I'm talking about my shop, guys, just in case you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my shop. Okay, see, I'm getting sidetracked. Oh, and also I wanted to share, Brittany from Skittle Cat Spiritual recommended these oils, the essential oils. It's a new line, I guess, at Walmart. I still can't say the name. Guru Nanda. But yeah, look in the vitamin section. I was always going over by like the candles and stuff, which they have some essentials there. But these ones are 100% pure and natural, which I like because I don't like the ones that have like the added alcohols and stuff like that into them. But yeah, this one is the Calm Muscle, and so you can put it into a carrier oil and then obviously rub it on a sore muscle, but it smells wonderful in the diffuser. So just want to share that. So I did find them. All right, first question. When and how did you first know you were a witch? Now this is a hard question. Everybody has such elegant answers and deep thought out answers to these questions. You guys, I'm really not that deep. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what it is or why, but I don't get like that. I don't know why. I don't know. Can't give you a straight answer there. So I wrote a few things down. It'll kind of flow into question number 2. And then number 2 is, how long have you been practicing? So I think this all kind of goes hand in hand because, yes, as a child, there were things that, you know, like I'm an only child. So I lived out on a few acres in the desert area. And I would climb in our trees. I would talk with insects. I would play with snakes. We did a lot of gardening, so I was, connected with the earth a lot. Had a huge respect for that kind of thing at a young age, but obviously it's not defined as magic or, you know, defining yourself that way, but it's the building blocks to it. So that was through childhood into my teen years. In my 20s, I would check out books from the library, but it was more of like a hidden thing because family members and people around me, obviously following a certain religion, kind of frowned upon that. And with those influences, I was fearful of following the pagan path or even investigating anything like that or anything with the word witch. So I didn't define myself then either. And I wasn't practicing. I was just more interested. And so then in my 30s, I totally didn't focus on any kind of spirituality or religion. I was busy raising my kids, and that's kind of what I focused on. You know, I still had the tendencies of respecting nature and loving my crystals, but I didn't define it. But now that I'm in my 40s, now I guess that whole life experience kind of brought it back to me full force. Now that my kids are older, I focus on myself a lot more. And So now I define it. Now I say, yes, I'm a practicing green witch. And it feels kind of liberating, because before I didn't feel like, I kind of felt like all over the place. So yes, so it's only been about a year. It's coming up on a year that I've been practicing and saying that I'm a witch. So that was a long one. Sorry about the noise, guys. It's a Sunday in my house, and it's gonna probably get crazy soon. Okay, so question 3. What kind of witch are you? I did just touch on that. So I consider myself the umbrella that everyone says, which is eclectic, because I pull from different things. But I'm more of a green witch, because I'm drawn to that aspect of things. What path or tradition do you follow? What question is this? 4? Again, natural magic, I guess, if that's an answer to that. I don't, yeah, just natural magic. I don't connect with anything else, really. I don't, if it's structured, I kind of lose interest, if that makes any sense to you. Let's see, number 5. These are hard. I wrote down notes, and it's hard to follow these ones here. What number am I on? Is your craft devotional or secular? How do you incorporate your faith into your craft if you do? Again, I don't get too deep, guys. I don't know what this really means. I'm going to say secular. Because if it was devotional, I think, right, I would pay attention to one daily deity, right? Because I tend to work with God or goddess or energy as I feel drawn to it. And I've only been drawn to Gaia, Diana, and Lu, but as a practice every day with them, it's really not. It's just as I'm drawn to that. I hope I answered that right. Let's see. Are you a closeted witch or in the open? If so, how do your friends, family feel about your path? Okay, my friends and family don't really pay attention to what I do because they know that I'm kind of weird anyways, so they don't really pay attention to it. They don't question what I do. Just sometimes, like, my uncle will laugh at me because he doesn't understand it, and he's a little close-minded when it comes to stuff like that, but they don't look down on me for doing what I do. I'm open if people come to me and want to talk to me about it, but then I'm not, if I'm not approached about it, I won't talk about it. I won't even talk about it with my friends or family, because I don't like to make people feel uncomfortable or bring that kind of stuff up. I just don't. So if they come to me, I'll talk to them. I'll share with them and answer any questions they have. But as far as being considered in the closet, I'm really not. I'm at a point now in life where I just do what makes me happy. And if people don't like it, they can just walk their merry path the other way, right? Number 6, I do believe. Are you solitary or do you have a coven? I am solitary. Covens are a little too restricted for me, I think, as far as like rules and having somebody above you. There's too much there. I wouldn't want to answer to somebody else when it comes to my practice. I do have a group that I meet with and I do classes with, and but nobody is titled like a coven is. It's just a group of witches that come together and learn from each other, and they're all solitary. So that's what I prefer. What is something you wish someone had told you, or something you wish you knew when you first started? Let's see. I gotta look to my notes, guys, because this is a lot of information. So the biggest one is you don't need all the tools. You don't need to collect everything right off the bat, because that's kind of how I felt. I felt I needed to have the crystal ball. I felt I needed to have a whole bunch of crystals, every candle color under the sun, and I just felt like I needed to get that stuff in order to do what I, in my practice to work magic, and I just, to save myself a lot of headache. I mean, it was fun collecting it, don't get me wrong, it was fun making these things, but I felt kind of pressured to, I gotta have this huge altar, I gotta, but I was missing the point. I was missing the point of the deeper meaning of it all. So that I got caught up in that in the beginning. But yeah, so let's see. What resource was the most valuable for your beginning practice, and what about now? YouTube. Thank you, guys. YouTube was my biggest resource. Finding everybody, listening to everybody and how they practice, how they see things, their views in the world, because again, I'm not very deep when it comes to stuff like this. Like, I'm still learning that part about me. I skim the surface, and I have my whole life, and so I'm still learning that part. But my biggest resource is the videos. And I take classes, so classes help a lot too. My mentor in those classes is awesome, and she brings certain things out in me that she obviously can see that I don't see. So those are very helpful. So if you have classes or a metaphysical shop in your area that you can become part of, I highly recommend doing that as well. So, but yeah, YouTube videos, because they're free. So, because I know a lot of people don't want to pay money to do classes, but they're very helpful. Let's see. What was your first spell? Was it successful? My first charm, I call them charms, not spells. I'm not quite to that point of doing ritual, feeling comfortable doing ritual, or doing I don't know. I think a charm and a spell are the same thing, I guess. To me, they are. But it was to stop eating so much sugar, and it failed. And that was a few months back. That was the first time I did one, and I can tell you right now it's because I didn't have 100% of my intention put into it. That's why it failed. I haven't attempted to do it again. Because I don't think I was to the point enough. Like, I was so vague, and I didn't put 100% of my intention into it, like I should have. Let's see. So yeah, so my first one, that one failed. Let's see. What do you do when you feel out of touch with your craft? I get back into it. And I will play with my crystals. I'll go out in my garden. I'll talk to the plants. Just kind of reconnect myself with that energy. I'll try to write something down. Working with my tools as much as I can. My book of shadows, which is a mess right now. So, it all just comes down to even lighting an incense, lighting a candle, coming and sitting at my altar, just sitting here just being here in this space kind of brings me back, and I'm refocused, basically. I try to do that daily, because I notice, like, if I miss, say, I get busy with the kids and I miss a few days, I definitely feel that disconnect. So I try to make a point of coming in here for even a few minutes. I'll spray some dragon's blood in the air and light an incense, and it's like rejuvenating in 2 seconds. So that's how I come back to it. But I'm usually not. I try not to be away from it for too long. Have you ever doubled? Have you ever doubted your faith or ability? More than I like. I just have that tendency of being hard on myself, and I don't. So I'm working on that. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, asking for help in that area too. What are some grounding techniques that you find work for you? Well, the biggest one is just going out in my garden barefoot, put my feet in the dirt. That's a big one. I do wear, if I feel like I need that, I wear my garnet piece during the day. But yeah, for the most part, it's working out my garden. I don't really, I don't know, I don't ever really kind of feel that I need to be grounded. I don't know. If I do need to be grounded, I don't know when that is. Like I said, I feel very balanced in that area. But yeah, I do it. I guess I could say I do that anyway. I just do it. It's not something that I feel I'm drawn to, or I feel like I have to do to feel better. I just do it. I don't know. Let's see, next one. I lost my place, guys. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve in the magical community? All right, you guys, I am too laid back to have a pet peeve, if you haven't noticed. I had to think about this one actually, because I really don't. I'm not big on complaining about things. I just let things go and I go with the flow kind of situation. Let me see what I wrote down. I wrote down answers last night. Just so I had something to say. Okay, so if you want to call it a pet peeve, I have a real issue with taking the time to watch somebody's video and hear what they're about or hear what they have to say, and then I leave a comment and I don't ever hear anything back. I don't get a little heart. I don't get a like. I guess that's kind of annoying to me. As a community, I feel that there should be some kind of recognition, at least a like on a comment. So yeah, that kind of bothers me a little bit if I take the time to leave a comment and nobody acknowledges it. I haven't had it happen yet. If I didn't get a like or a heart back on a comment, it's not gonna crush me, guys. It's not ruining my day. It's not. I try not to let anything really get to me like that, because it's just wasting my energy, really. But yeah, so to answer that question, there you go. Let's see. What was your biggest spell disaster? I haven't done enough to have a disaster, guys, and I really hope. I mean, I'm sure that there'll be something that comes about, but for now, I don't have any disasters. I really don't. What is your view on black magic? My view on black magic. There has to be. I don't see black magic as evil. There has to be black magic to be white magic. There's always a balance in things. I don't see anything wrong with black magic if it's being utilized, I guess, if I'm understanding the meaning of black magic right. That there has to be that to have the light and fluffy stuff. I guess that's how I would view it. Yeah, because I don't know. I guess that's how I see it. Is witchcraft an everyday thing, or is it only for special occasions? Oh, people, it's an everyday thing. It has to be. It helps me be mindful of my daily life and every little thing that's in it. It definitely has to be a daily thing. Yeah, I couldn't do it just on special occasions. I'm not that organized, really, of a person. To be able to plan that kind of, to plan that way. So I try to keep it in my daily, with everything I do, all the way down to like what I'm cooking, or the way that I'm talking to myself, the way that I'm talking to other people. I mean, even down to like the road rage scenarios. You know, I live in the city, so it's easy. It festers up. It's crazy the energy that I feel when I drive here. And so I constantly have to tell myself, okay, you know, just you're out in it, and take yourself back a little bit. Just slow down. Let's see. Do you meditate? I try. I have got to get better about that. I need to definitely meditate more often. But yes, I will meditate. I won't sit in silence often. I want to try to practice that a little bit more, but my meditation is more working in my studio, working on my creations. That's my quiet time. That's the time that I'm in my head more. Yeah, so that's my meditation. I do it a little differently than what some people think of meditation should be. Like, I don't close myself off in a dark room where it's really super quiet. I don't play like certain music. Yeah, I don't have a space for it. Like, if I'm in a moment, if I'm at my desk, I'll just sit there maybe for a few minutes with my eyes closed, and I take a few deep breaths, and that's about it. That's kind of how I try to recenter myself. Question 19. Do you practice divination? If so, what techniques? I do practice divination. I do need to start doing it a little bit more, but I have. So I've done tea leaf reading. I've done scrying. Work with a pendulum. I've done tarot. Worked with oracle. Have the divination dice, and I'm just now starting to get into runes. I think I'm one of those people, I like to dabble and, again, skim the surface. And I like to see if something connects. And the only thing that really has connected with me, that I have tried, because again, I've only been practicing for a year, is my pendulum. I love my pendulum. I'm a pendulum girl. I always get the best results with a pendulum. But yeah, so it's probably my favorite one, is the pendulum, for sure. It's never failed me. Let's see. Moon phases, planetary correspondences, day of the week, hour, irrelevant, or key. Okay. I don't know enough about this kind of stuff, but I'm going to say for me that the moon phases and the planetary correspondences really do speak to me. Now, as far as the day and the hour, I don't think I could get that detailed. Again, I'm not that coordinated, and I can't connect the dots very well. When it comes to like the research part of things or the educational part of things, it's hard for me to put like, okay, well, this is talking about this, so I need to come and this corresponds with that. It's really hard for me to connect the dots there. So, but I do believe that the moon phases have a strong energy in my daily life, and then the planet correspondences I'm just now getting into. In other videos I've talked about like astrology. So I was just, again, skimming the surface. I'm just learning about it. I don't know enough to even talk about it right now. I shouldn't even be talking about it, really. Okay, next question. Let's see. Spell language. Do you like it simple? Do you dress it up? Is it poetry? Is it silent? Dude, anything simple, I am there. I am your girl, right? So yes, I try to keep it simple, but guess what? When I write stuff, I write a novel. I can't help myself. It's at least 3 pages. I will take it and I will try to condense. I'm going to condense that down to at least 4 or 5 sentences. I try to... My problem is that I cannot ever get to the point. I will talk and talk. Like, if I tell you a story, you're going to be there for an hour hearing exactly, like, every single detail. Like I'm talking right now. I am explaining to you how I write, and I shouldn't be. Anyways, I like it simple, and most of the time it's silent because I have a house full of kids, teenagers, and I don't think they want to hear me yelling at the top of my lungs as a charm or a spell. I really don't feel comfortable with that anyways. Even when I'm home alone, I won't. I know some witches out there, they just have their arms up and they're just yelling it because they want the gods and goddesses and whoever, deities, angels, energies, whatever you want to call them, to hear them. And I believe that if it's in my head, they hear me. And I feel a little more comfortable with that. Now, if I say it out loud, it's usually like in conversation, monotone, kind of like I'm speaking to somebody else, or I'm trying to explain something in a calm fashion. So that's pretty much me. But I'm just I'm very laid back and calm person anyways. So that's just how I project in my practice. Anyways, I don't get fancy with it. I wish I could. I wish I could get up and dance in a circle. I wish I could just get up and dance and feel the energies. It's just not me. I don't know. I feel weird. I feel out of my, I don't know, maybe I should force myself to do it sometimes, but I just think that you should be comfortable when you're practicing and when you're doing that kind of stuff. You should just be comfortable in your own being. So yeah, for me it's silence, and I don't get fancy with it at all, guys. I'm sorry, I'm boring. I do wear awesome cat ears though. Let's see, where was I? I don't even know what number I'm on, so I'm sorry. As long as I'm not repeating the questions, right? Do you keep a book of shadows or a grimoire? I love that word. I love grimoire. I always call it a book of shadows, though. Let me show you. I'm a visual kind of person, so this is it. You're getting it. I have a book of shadows. I have about 5 of them. No, I'm kidding. I tried to start one. Right here. I tried to start one. It has probably about 3 or 4 pages filled up in it. But I have one of these. Actually, I have 2 of these filled up with information. I have loose pieces of paper sitting all over the place. So there's 3. I have this awesome planner that I got that I wanted to use. Is it Ben Bellwin? I always want to say it's Bellawin, but I think it's Benebell, Benebell, and then Wen is the last name, I think. But I ordered this from her, and I wanted to use it as my, correspondence book of shadows type thing, but it's like a planner. And I will do tarot drawings and do monthly draws with Oracle, and I'll write them in this. So I'm kind of all over the place, guys. Like I said, I'm not very good at organizing. And then I have a folder. Yeah, I keep loose pieces of paper in the folder so they don't get lost. And then I have my sketchbook. Let me show you. I'll show you something. This is what I do for meditation. I'll just work, I'll work with like pastel and do certain, I'm trying to get to one that I did. I like, just drawing silly little things. That's part of my, yeah, I'm kind of sporadic. I'm all over the place, guys. So yeah, those are my books. I don't know if you want to call it Book of Shadows, but guess what? I did create one. Okay, sorry. I had to get up and go get it because I forgot it. In the beginning, this goes back to that question of what do you wish someone told you in the beginning? Well, yeah, I wish they would have told me, you don't really need a Book of Shadows in the beginning. Really, you don't. I spent a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I think, and I made one. So I made a cover from scratch. Like, I took the cardboard, I made the center here, put it all together. I don't know if you can see that. I put my ribbons in here. But yeah, so made the little corners. So there's fire. I think that one's air, earth, and water on the corner pieces. And, but yeah, so it sits empty. It just, so I made this for all my other stuff. And then, okay, but look, it's in a binder. And I even went as far as to, it's in order. Hey, give me props for that. It's in order. But yeah, so I put, I made a bunch of paper to go in it. They're all blank. I printed out a few things, yes, but yeah, so it's getting there. I'll eventually get it put together. So that's for that question, right? Of course, you guys knew I had to get all visual with that because the rest of my answers were kind of boring. All right, so that was the Book of Shadows question. Okay, next one. Do you have an altar? Is it dedicated to any specific deity, season, or anything? I have 5, I think. All right, so I have my main working altar, which is right here behind me. And this is the one that gets all crazy. I'll decorate this one for the Sabbats. And then I have one where the star is. I have this altar. So far I haven't really dedicated this to any space. It kind of just holds my crystal ball, both my crystal balls. I have some goddess stuff going on over here, but it's kind of like a storage area at the moment. Then I have an ancestor's altar, and that's on the other side of this area right here on the other side. So that's kind of where I keep all my pictures of my relatives and people, you know, my animals that have passed away. I have their ashes there, so it's just an altar dedicated to them. And I have a garden altar right in front of my Arcadia door, right as you go out into the garden, and that's kind of where I keep all of my flowers and different things that I'm drying out, my basil. So anything comes in from my garden, I leave it there at that altar so it can dry, and then I will crush or do anything that I need, like into powder form and stuff, at that altar. And then I have a goddess altar, and you guys see that altar, I do believe, when I'm filming at my computer, but that's where I have my picture of Circe, and then I have some other goddess things. I have, I'm trying to think, my crystals are right above it, so yeah, so that one's kind of dedicated to just any of the goddesses, or, you know, at the time, that I'm working with at the time. But yeah, so then my main altar is where I, at the moment, I have, if I'm working with a deity or something, you know, this is where I'll have all the stuff dedicated to them, and my offerings, and where I do my main stuff. Oh, and then I have my studio, my creativity type of altar. Right now at the moment it's my kitchen table. So I kind of have, any place that I'm really doing some magical work or anything, I consider an altar. So yeah, so right now the kitchen table is one, and then I have my studio creativity type altar where I do my woodworking and all my other kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I have a lot of them. I didn't realize I had so many. What's the next question, guys? Thoughts on the afterlife. This one's kind of, it's going to be very vague, guys, because I don't really think about that too much. Yeah, let me think here. So I don't even know how to answer this. Yeah, this is a hard one. I don't believe that I don't believe that we just like float around in no man's land, I guess. I do believe that when we pass, our energies go back into Mother Gaia. I don't believe in heaven, hell, obviously. I don't, it's a hard one. I just think that we're energies, and be it energies in the air, be it energies in any type of space or, moment. That's to me, that's afterlife. We're just not in this vessel, basically. The vessel will expire and we move on with our energies to other places, which obviously we don't know. So yeah, that was my take on that. I'm sorry, it's not deep and thoughtful and just, yeah. Do or would you teach and practice witchcraft to your children? I teach my children every day. I don't label it. I would prefer my children to come up with their own terminology for it, their own idea of it and what they call it. So I don't specifically point it out as them being pagan or, we're practicing witchcraft right now. I don't label it like that. And the reason I don't is because I don't want people to judge them. I don't like that. The idea of that. I don't want them to have, as children, I don't want them to have to deal with opinionated people at such a young age. So yeah, but through my children growing up, you teach them their morals. You teach them how to respect Mother Nature, how to respect the flora, fauna, just the cycle of life in general. So, yeah, but yeah, as they get older, I let them determine which path they want to go on. That's their life, not mine. So I just teach them to the best of my ability of how to be respectful, if anything, and of all life, basically. Let's see. Do you have a totem animal? If so, what is it? Okay. To me, a totem animal is an animal that comes to you, be it a dream or in divination. I do believe that's kind of how that goes if you're labeling them a totem animal. I'm not really sure. I haven't really studied that much, but I can tell you that I am drawn to spiders. I obviously am drawn to cats, which, speak of the devil, is coming right now to say hi. Now she's mad because I'm talking to you guys. So what I say, spiders, cats, and lately it's been small winged insects. So I had an awesome experience on the last blue moon. I was sitting out at the altar that I put out in my yard for that. And I had a lacewing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with lacewings, but they're little tiny green. Their wings are kind of translucent, but they're like it's like a bright green. You can't miss them. And I saw one floating around us, flying around us, and I put my finger out, and she landed on my finger. You guys, I've never had that happen with a lacewing. They usually are so, like with smaller insects, they just fly away. But yeah, she came and landed on my finger. It was awesome. So yeah, so lacewings, crane flies. If I get crane flies in my house, I'm the only one who will rescue them and put them back outside. But yeah, so little tiny flying insects, obviously the ones that aren't gonna harm me, but I totally respect and adore bees and all of them, but I won't let them land on my hand. But yeah, so spiders and cats, I would say, are the ones that yes, I do rescue spiders in my house and I release them. Let's see. What are some witch books that have influenced you? I was thinking about this one. I really don't have any books that influenced me to a point of where I practice what I've read. I don't know if that's going to make any sense to you guys. I can show you the books that I got in the beginning. I've got, Solitary Witch by RavenWolf. This was a little too, I mean, I liked the information in it because it's one of those reference books. See how it's tabbed? You can just go and just flip to a page and read about something. And that's what I liked about it. I'm not a cover-to-cover kind of reading person. I do believe this book is kind of based on Wicca. I don't follow Wicca. I really don't understand. I really haven't really read enough on Wicca to even understand its basis. But I liked it because it touched on different areas that don't necessarily you don't necessarily have to be Wicca to research or learn about. So that was the very first book on my, about a year ago, I want to say, that I got. But when I discovered green witchcraft, I was told to read this book by Scott Cunningham, Earth Power. It's a great book to just to the divination type things. It talks about chords, the magical power of trees, fire magic, scrying. So it kind of touches base on everything. And his stuff is such an easy read that I actually did read this one cover to cover because it's, nothing. But yeah, so that was a good one. And then of course I love this one. And I found other ones that have more description and more definition to them. But again, it's more of I'm like a reference book kind of gal. So I don't really get into those ones that you hear about. What was the book? I can't remember it off the top of my head. The Spiral Dance? Is it the Spiral Dance? Like books like that, like that have stories in them or stuff like that. For some reason, I can't sit myself down and read cover to cover. I just can't. I don't know what it is, guys. But yeah. But right now, I'm into this one by him and another author. So Scott Cunningham and David Harrington. It's the Spellcrafts. So it talks about how to craft your own tools, so I'm totally into this one. And this one again is more, you can flip through it and it doesn't have to be cover to cover. So I'm loving that one. Tools. Handmade only. Natural materials only. I only need my will. Anything works if I want to use it. All of the above, guys. I have, of course, I like making my own tools. I do prefer them to be natural materials. I don't like to use super glue or hot glues or stuff like that. I don't know. I don't like that stuff. I like it to be all natural. But yeah, in some cases, if I want to just sit here and just do my own through my fingertips, yeah, I'll do that too. But yeah, I could pick up a stick off the ground and use it. But it's all coming from you anyways, so you're just conducting it through whatever stuff you have, basically, or you're just borrowing energy from your stones and stuff like that. So, but yeah. Do you have a magical name? No, and I'm kind of annoyed that I don't. I want to know where you sign up for that. I want to know, because I think that would be cool. If I did have a magical name, I have no idea what I would go by. I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it, actually. I don't know. Any ideas, guys? Yeah. Drop me a comment below, because I'd be interested to hear what you have. Favorites. Season. Summer. Followed up by spring, and then fall, and then winter. Winter is not, can you just cheat? Too cold. It's beautiful. But yeah, not my favorite. Summer's my favorite. Even though it's hot as hell here. I think it's just, for some reason, I think here in the desert in the summer, things just seem to be just so alive. It's the weirdest thing, I know. We don't have spring, really. It's like 2 weeks worth of allergies and blooming. But as soon as it hits the 90s, things just start to turn green here. Animals come out, just the ones that you haven't seen in a long time. Even the scorpions, unfortunately, but it's just a magical time. I just love it. My favorite herb, I don't know. I haven't really sat down and worked with a specific herb on its own. I haven't done enough magical workings with herbs to comment on that, but if I had to say, it would probably be basil. I do have a close connection with basil. I have quite a few basil plants in my garden, and they're beautiful. The variety is crazy. Mint is probably a close second. I love mint too. It's just so that deep green, and you can just rub it and it's just the scent. Yeah, could go on all day. Crystals. I don't have an answer for this one, guys, but right now, because I just love crystals. I love crystals in any shape, form, color, whatever. But right now I'm working with carnelian, and I love it. So yeah, get a little bit of fire. Rune. I haven't studied runes enough, but if I had to pick a rune, I guess it would be the one that is closely related to creativity. Tarot card. Of course, it's the star. Who doesn't love the star? Seriously. Symbol. I don't have a symbol. I did do a sigil once. I want to say it was a protection sigil. That's when I was just trying to learn what sigils were and where they came from and stuff like that. Do I have that? I'll show it to you guys. I don't care. I'll share. Sigils are fun. I think they're fun. I don't know why I don't do them more often. I guess you have to be kind of a creative person to really enjoy sigils. I don't know where my sigil is, guys. Let me look for it and then I'll get back to you. Alright guys, sorry I looked. I don't know what I did with it. I have no idea. I just know it was like a... maybe I'll do a video on it, but sigils are fun to make, I think. It's just because I think it's just because they're a creative thing to do. Like your own. You did it yourself. Alright. But yeah, so that was all the questions. I hope I answered them the right way to where you guys understood a little bit. I mean, in the beginning, I don't know if I answered some of those right as far as devotional and secular, and again, I'm just a little too new to all those labels and formal names of things. I still haven't kind of grasped what they all mean. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Bye!